Hello everyone and welcome to a quick tutorial about how to connect a Novation circuit with an iPad. And I have a circuit tracks, I have an original circuit, and I have an old iPad with a Lightning connector and a new one with USB-C, and I will cover all four possible connections. Okay, let's start with connecting a tracks to an old iPad. And I think this is a very interesting use case because you might have an old iPad lying around that you don't use anymore. Like this one, it's from 2014, so it's 10 years old. It's an iPad Air 2. And these old iPads are still very capable of running soft synths. Like this one, it's Synth 1 from AudioKit. It's a free soft synth. So it's a software that you can just download, run it on your old iPad, and you have an additional free synth for your circuit tracks. So let's first connect a USB cable for the MIDI data, and for that you will need a connector for the iPad. It has Lightning on the one side, and on the other side it has a USB-A port, and very important, also another Lightning port. And that's important because you need to provide power to this. And I will show you what happens if you don't do that. Let's do the USB connection. It's USB-C here for the tracks. So, and if I just connect it without additional power, you will see that the tracks actually can't start, because as soon as it detects a cable attached, it tries to pull power over it, and the iPad is not strong enough for that. So you will additionally need a power supply, and yeah, it's quite easy. Just use the second port here, the Lightning port, and now you can connect this to a power plug. Or if you want to be more flexible and more mobile, you can just add a power bar. And you see that tracks just starts normally. Now this synth is now configured on MIDI channel 3 because that's the channel that is configured for the MIDI 1 track here. And you will see as soon as I play, you see MIDI data already arrives, so it's a very easy setup. Now what's also interesting about this combination of an old iPad and the tracks is that the tracks has two audio inputs, so you can listen to external audio sources through your headphones just plugged in your tracks, and that way you don't need a mixer. And actually old iPads have still this 3.5mm audio output, and we can connect it, and that way we don't need a mixer. And for that you need an audio cable with a very simple 3.5mm jack on the one side and two audio 6.3 jacks on the other side. And if I connect that, and let me connect it to my mixer so you can hear what's going on to the output. Now if I you can actually now listen to the internal synth of the tracks, but also, well, let's play it with this one. You can also hear the sound of the iPad. So it's a very compact, very mobile, very small setup with an iPad and the tracks. So now let's do the same thing again with the circuit track and the new iPad. This is an iPad Pro with a USB-C connection, and again I'm running AudioKit Synth 1, which is a free, very nice soft synth for the iPad, and it's a very good addition for the circuit tracks. Now to connect these two devices you need again a connector. This is a USB-C connector with, well, this one has a lot of stuff on it. What it actually needs is USB-A or USB-C input, and also you need an audio output. This is very important because the new iPads don't have an audio out on the device anymore. Also, I would recommend that it has a power delivery input, because it will run without it, so you don't need an external power source, but of course it's better to provide it to have more runtime. Now let's connect it. This is USB-C to USB-A cable, Now, as I said, this will power up because the iPad Pro does deliver enough power for it, but it would be better to also connect some external power source. I use a power bank here just to have a little bit more mobility, and I add it to the PD. Just have a look. That's here. Okay. I configured the Synth 1 to MIDI channel 3 because that's what's on the MIDI track number 3, the first MIDI track. And you see it already receives MIDI data. So it's plug and play. To connect the audio out, you need another cable like this one. It has a 3.5 millimeter jack that goes into the audio out here. And you can connect that to the audio input of the tracks. And I have connected that to my mixer. You can also just connect your headphones. And now you hear it all running through from the iPad through the connector here from the audio out into the input from the tracks, and that's what you hear in the mixer. So this is an internal synth from the tracks, and this is the iPad. Okay, now let's have a look at the original circuit. Well, it has some disadvantages to the tracks in this setup because it doesn't have audio input, so you can't route the audio out from the iPad through the circuit. You will need a mixer in this setup, or you can use the internal speakers of the circuit and the iPad, but the quality is not very good. Secondly, the circuit, the old original circuit, doesn't have extra MIDI tracks, so you can just double the drum or synth tracks, or you will have to add another sequencer on the iPad. And for third, you cannot power the circuit through the USB port, so you will have to add an external power source for this. I added batteries to the circuit to be more mobile. Okay, now let's connect the circuit to an old iPad with a Lightning connector. This is an iPad from 2014, so it's quite old, but it still runs a lot of soft synths like this one, AudioKit Synth 1, which is free and which sounds very nice in my opinion. Now to connect these two, you need a connector, one that has a Lightning connector on the one side and also a USB-A port on this side. I'd also recommend to add another Lightning connector here because that way you can power your iPad while your session is running. So I put this in here, and then I take the USB cable, connect it. Now this synth is running on channel 1, which is also configured for the first synth. And you can see it's already receiving MIDI data. That works. Now if you want to add a power source to your iPad, so we have a little bit more runtime. Let's see. Just take a Lightning cable that goes in here. And I have a power bank here to be more mobile. That makes sense if you use batteries. And now the iPad is powered and can essentially receive MIDI data from the circuit tracks. Circuit. Okay, then finally let's have a look at how to connect an original circuit with a new iPad, one with an USB-C connection. And for that you will need a USB-C hub again, and it should provide USB-A connection, one at least. Also, it's good to have a USB-C PD connection for power delivery so that you can power your iPad in your session and don't have to rely on the battery. And it also should provide an audio output because the new iPads don't have an audio out on the device anymore. So you could either use that, or you can also add an audio interface to which you then add to your USB-C hub for better quality. Now, to connect it, just plug it in here, and then you add a USB cable. So, and let's go down to MIDI channel 1. That's a MIDI channel from the first synth. And you see, you can see that's already receiving MIDI data. So it's plug and play. Now the Novation Circuit is not powered via USB, so currently it's running on batteries. If you want to do a longer session, I think batteries are fine for 5 or 6 hours. You will have a power supply because it doesn't get power over the USB-A. Also, if you want to listen to your circuit and your iPad at the same time, you can either use the internal speaker, but the quality is not very good. So you will actually have to add a mixer to the setup. So that's how you connect a circuit to an iPad. Quite simple actually. Thanks for your attention and bye.